You know, you might have started Ramadan making a promise to yourself. I'm not gonna get angry. I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna work on the bad habits that I know I have. And I'm gonna become a better person. And maybe you started off strong, but then suddenly this one moment, you lost it. And in that moment, you can crash and feel like you're a failure. How could you? All these, very, very harsh emotions can come running to you. And in that moment, I want you to hold on to the dua called Sayyid istighfar. This dua of asking forgiveness. In this dua, we say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam teach us to say this one dua, which says, وَأَنَا عَلَىٰ عَهْدِكَ وَوَعْدِكَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُ. I want you to highlight, underline, bold this one word, as much as I'm capable. As much as I'm capable, I'm going to hold on to this covenant of yours, Ya Allah. That I'm going to be a good person for you, Ya Allah, as much as I can. Because some moments I will falter. I'm not going to have it perfect all the way through. And Ramadan teaches us that, day in and day out. How many bad habits did we promise that we're not going to have, and suddenly they start showing up. And you get so mad at yourself, right? We belittle ourselves. We say, how could you? And then we read this dua, and it's such a refresher to know Allah is saying, as much as you're capable, as much as I'm capable, I'm going to be better, Ya Allah. And it's in this dua of istighfar, of asking forgiveness, that we should be saying every single day, inshallah. And also in Juz' 28, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. Be mindful of Allah, have taqwa, this fear and awe and reverence and love of Allah, as much as you're capable. And what's interesting is that this comes shortly after Allah talking about the test of children. And sometimes, for those who are parents, and it's easy to make those mistakes that are so quick to come, right? When you promised yourself not to have a temper, when you promised yourself, to be a better parent, and then suddenly something comes up again. You're like, man, how did I do that again? And then this says, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. Remember Allah, be mindful of Him as much as you're capable. So if you made a mistake where you forgot Allah for a moment, have taqwa as much as you can. Come back to Allah. Go back to the dua of istighfar. Allah didn't create you to be perfect, but rather to seek His perfection. And as parents especially, we're going to have these moments where we feel like a failure as a parent. So hold on to these verses, even the Prophet himself. And again, if anyone's going to be perfect, wouldn't it be a prophet? And Prophet Shu'aib even tells his people, إِنْ أُرِيدُ إِلَّا الْإِصْلَاحَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُ. The same word in all three. In all the two verses I shared and the dua I shared have the same word, the istita'a, your ability to have a very limited capability. As a human being, you're limited, right? As much as I am able, Shu'aib alayhi salam says, as much as I'm able, I'm going to reform and fix and bring positive change around me. He doesn't say I'm going to bring positive change around me where you see a 180-degree flip, it's all going to look perfect in the span of 10 years. He just says, as much as I'm able, I'm going to fix, I'm going to reform. That's all I can control. I'm a human at the end of the day. So all these du'as, all these verses teach us, if you're slacking, if you regressed, just come back. That's all you can do, right? You can't change the fact that you slipped, but what you can change is your hal right now, your situation right now. And you're recognizing that you are human above all else. So, اتقوا الله ما استطعتم. Be mindful of Allah, hold on to Him as much as you're capable. And be one who reads this dua al-istighfar, every single day, so you can be reminded of His perfection, never your own.